Hi, Emily. How are you?
Hi, Cam. Good.
Good. Last time we met, we talked about your relationship with your partner and how it was your guys' communication styles was really bothering you. Um, and I just wanted to know how things were going. How has anything changed since then?
Yeah, it's a great question. Not really. We're still kind of having the same struggles, I would say. I still am finding times where his tone changes the style. Like, we'll be fine. We'll have a good night. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. And then he'll say something, and the tone is so bad, and I just shut down.
Um, can you tell me about the last time you guys had um, this kind of argument? Or
Yeah, I can. It was last night. so, so we were good. Like, we were just hanging out, and we were kind of joking around, and so our month anniversary. I always do month anniversaries. It was kind of the joke until you do a year. And it was on June 1st, and we kind of missed it. Like, it was a weekend, it was Saturday. I was so busy at work, so we missed it a bit. And I said, like, yeah, like, I think anniversaries are so important. And he made it like a kind of joke about because we won't even make it to a year. And the tone, like, it was supposed to be funny, but the tone of it was a little bit off. And it's not even the comment itself. And then I shut down. Like, when I decide something's rude or like I don't like what he said, I kind of like pull a shut down.
mm-hmm. So when he said that, what you said you shut down, but what was going through your mind at that point?
It's at first it's like it's a physical feeling. Like, when he says something, I kind of like, yeah, it's like I don't like the feeling. And then I like get inside my own head about it a bit. And then I just stop talking. Like, I can't, like, it's like my whole demeanor changes. And then I just shut down verbally. I shut down mentally, emotionally. Like, it's like I put up a wall.
So you say it's like a physical thing. So then you also like your brain, like you kind of go into like that freeze mentality where you like,
Totally. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
so attracted, like, I'll be great and we'll be fine. And like the connection's there. And then the minute I have a shutdown, like, it's like my attraction's gone. My ability to be around him is gone. I don't want to talk to him. Like, it connects. Then I just build up this anger inside, and it's like a freeze.
Yeah. And you're not really thinking in those times, or
I'm just mad. Like, I just like, it's like anger takes over.
mm-hmm. When it takes over so you can't really kind of you can't really express what you're wanting to say, right?
Yeah, like, I will always be like, tone. Like, I'll say something, but then after that, yeah, it's like I know that if I do say something, it'll be out of anger. So I guess what I do is I just don't say anything at all.
Mm-hmm. And what are you wanting to do in those moments when you don't say, like you say you don't want to express that anger, but what else are you wanting to communicate in that moment?
I think I think what I want is for like little things that are said to not be like, I feel like with us, when something is said with tone or like out of spite or whatever it is, um, like, it transforms the night almost. Like, when that's kind of it for that night. So I I want to be able to I don't know if it's let it go is the answer, or not say anything at all, or say, I don't know, I just don't want it to completely tank the night, basically, or the experience of being together at that moment.
Mm-hmm. Does this happen to you in other situations?
That's a good question. Yeah, it happens so if I've had a fight with a girl, it's rare that I fight lately. But if I feel like I'm being talking down to, or if I feel like someone's almost raising their voice at me, or or it's a certain type of tone, I just like, I cannot physically or emotionally handle it. And that's when I completely shut down.
Okay. So how would you have liked that situation last night to have gone?
I haven't even thought of that. I guess there's two ends. From his end, sometimes I don't understand the tone, and I don't understand the comments. From my end, I sometimes wish things wouldn't impact me as much. Like, I just kind of wish I could let more roll off my back when it comes. I feel very much like it's my pet peeve. My Achilles heel. Like, I can't, in any situation where we're talking to each other calmly, or I'm great, like we can have a conversation, but when voices are raised or there's a specific tone or it's condescending, I really can't handle it at all. Like, I kind of wish I could. I don't know if it's letting it go, because I don't know if that's just like starting to become weak, so I don't know if it's letting it go or if it's finding a better way to handle it so it doesn't just go into this free-for-all black hole of shutdown.
Yeah. So has there ever been a time where you were kind of in that shutdown moment, but you were able to pull yourself out and kind of verbalize what you were feeling or what you thought that other person was saying with their tone?
Yeah. So my friends have brought it up. Like, I've had a couple girls in my life like bring up how scary the shutdown is, because they think like sometimes they're like, is she ever talking to me again? I haven't had a time where I can get out of it immediately. Like, it takes, if I try to talk to them, it'll either be fueled with anger or I cry. Like, so I can't really, like, in that moment, I don't think I've ever had a time where I can get out of it in a controlled manner. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So at those times, you do just need to take a break, right? And remove yourself.
Yeah. Like, I guess that's what I wish I didn't. Like, I wish, if that were the one thing I would like to change about myself, I wish I could, it's like, I wish I wasn't so fueled by like the emotion, because I just get so angry or so like upset that I'm crying that I can't. That would be the one thing I'd like to fix about myself, that I just wouldn't, that I would be a little bit more even keeled when it comes to that stuff.
So you say you want to be able to manage those emotions once they come at you and take over. If you were to be able to like manage that, manage those overwhelming feelings, and say what you were really feeling or thinking in those moments, what would you be saying?
I think I would just say, hey, hey Grayson, that comment kind of hurt my feelings. But it wouldn't be like riddle. It would just be like, hey, you shouldn't have said that. And then I would have let it go. Like, I feel like my issue is, and I just kind of like sit in it. And I just, or like with anyone, like if we were having a conversation that was hard, or I didn't appreciate the way they were talking to me, I could just kind of talk through it calmly and then just be done with it.
Mm-hmm. So if but instead there's that feeling that comes over you, and it kind of just like closes up your voice, and it closes up your thoughts and feelings other than rage or anger. If you were to give it a name, what would you give it?
That is such a good question. Because it's sometimes tears too. Like, it's not always anger. It's like, it's it's an overreaction. So I would call it like a hyper version of myself. hyper Emeleigh, I would call it.
So when hyper Emeleigh comes in and shuts everything down for you, you just want to be able to push past that, right?
Totally. I just want to be able to have a normal, kind, conversation, like show my vulnerability, like say, hey, I didn't love that, but not let it fester and sit and build and have such a strong emotional attachment.
So if you were to maybe talk with your partner about what happens to you in those moments, do you think that that might be helpful?
Yeah, like I've actually tried that. Like I tell them, like we've talked about my shutdowns. Everyone in my life kind of has experienced it. But it's not really, it hasn't really helped how I haven't really changed doing it.
Mm-hmm.
We have talked about it.
Is there something that you're looking for in those moments from the other person that that maybe you're asking, but in the shutdowns? But
Yeah, I think Grayson and I are both very stubborn people. So I think when I am, like if I do snap back or I do like I kind of become emotional, I don't think he steps back necessarily. So it will build into something more. I guess like obviously in my perfect world where everyone just attends to my needs, he would just say like, hey, like I'm sorry for saying that. But I think from his perspective, because we have talked about this, it was a joke or he didn't mean to say it in the way that he did, and so he doesn't understand my reaction. To be honest, sometimes I don't understand my reaction. Yeah.
Okay, so you want to just be able to control that that reaction. So if you could put yourself into like the next situation where he might or somebody else might say something that triggers that response, how would you imagine you'd want to deal with it?
I would honestly just want to say I would just want it like I will obviously notice a physical reaction because it happens every time. And I think I would want to just notice it. And then this is what I'm not sure about. I don't know if I say anything in that moment or if saying something feeds into it. I'm just thinking about this right now as we're talking about it. I wonder if it's best to like let it, to just sit with it, but maybe not necessarily always have to say, you shouldn't have said that. Or like, why did you say it like that? Because I think that feeds into this like spiral of emotions. Like maybe in a perfect world, I would just be like, okay, I'm noticing I didn't love that comment, but I'm going to leave it. And then when I notice that like I'm come down, I can then say something about it.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say afterwards that didn't feed into that that hyper Emeleigh?
I think I would just say, it's like a little hyper kid. I think I would just say, like just vulnerability, right? Like, hey, Grayson, yesterday when you had a little bit of a rough tone on me or when you kind of snapped, it hurt my feelings. Like Grayson and I have great conversations. When there's no heightened emotions, like we really can talk to each other and I can be vulnerable with him and he never shames me or anything like that. So I think I would just say like, hey, when you said that, like, I didn't love it. And then we would just have a 5-minute conversation about it and then we'd be over.
Mm-hmm. So being able to kind of take control back over that communication vulnerable is something that you'd really like to work on going forward?
Yeah, like I think I'm really good at being vulnerable. I think it'd be taking control over more my emotions, like not letting my emotions control me. So yeah, so that would be what is most important to me, is that I don't ever want to talk out of anger to anyone or out of an emotionally reactive spot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anything nice is, I know nothing nice is said. So I would just like to not get to the point where I'm so emotionally reactive that it kind of explodes.
Yeah. I remember the last time we spoke, you did say that communicating respectfully and healthily is one of it's really important to you as like a counseling student. So being able to kind of master like the emotional discussion, incredibly important for you in your personal life.
incredibly important to me. And as much as I say like that's on the people in my life too, I think when I am in that space where I'm reactive, I say things that aren't necessarily the nicest or from a place of kindness or empathy. So if I could just if I could just find a way to manage that reactivity, I feel like all my conversations would be much like the conversation we're having right now, or much like any conversation I have when I'm not amped up, just like very calm and kind.
That's great. I think that we're at a point where we can start making a plan for what we can do the next time. Thank you for sharing everything you have.
Thank you.
All right.
Done?
Yeah.